Obviously, if you're a fan of the Personal Edge Fitness podcast, you're not far into my dislike for what I call the lie of age. This ridiculous concept of believing that time passing on a calendar causes you to deteriorate. Well, it all is very, very simple. And I've got a guest on my show today to help me discuss the simplicity of the fountain of youth today on the Personal Edge Fitness podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness. Thank you so much for tuning in today to discuss one of my all-time favorite topics. I probably will sit here and beat up this topic till the day I die or until everybody finally fully understands it. Before I introduce my guest today, I want to tell you how to get in touch with us. And thank you so much for the questions that we've gotten so far. I greatly appreciate them. We will address them on subsequent podcasts. This one today is actually covering an issue that somebody brought up to us. Karen contacted us and was asking us about this fountain of youth and the lie of age. Got into a great conversation. And so we're covering that today. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at garrett@personaledgefitness.com. You can also reach out to us at our website, which of course is personaledgefitness.com, and our Facebook page, which is simply Personal Edge Fitness. Feel free to call in, though. It's how we get a lot of our questions. You can call in to the show at 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. Isn't that pretty cool, huh? Personal Edge, 251-278-EDGE. Leave a voicemail for us. Let us know your questions. We will respond to you, and we'll be more than glad to cover your questions on the show. Well, we're tackling, yet again, my favorite topic, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but it's what I call the simplicity of the fountain of youth. Now, the fountain of youth is basically the basis of the lie of age, which you'll know that I've said this many times, that if anybody tells you that you deteriorate because time passes on a calendar, or you're going to get weaker because you age, they're lying to you. Anybody that says that is lying to you. Anybody that says that's a liar. But the answer to it of maintaining what I call the fountain of youth, you see that phrase thrown around quite often, believe it or not, is based on three simple things. Three simple things. And we're going to cover that today. I'll introduce my guest. Y'all have seen him. He's been on the show before. This is Joshua Gooch, our manager of our Eastern Shore location and one of our directors at Personal Edge. Josh, welcome to the show. Glad to have you as always, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, you want to introduce you? We can't see them. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can't see them, but we have two other guests, and I want to go ahead and bring them up because they've been wanting to speak on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the rehearsal here, they're wanting to talk a little bit. So go ahead and tell us who we got here today with this.
I got Blaze right behind me here, being the ever faithful watchdog here, and then Sam over here to my right, just curled up on the dog bed there.
Blaze is Josh's first son, a four-legged furry adoptable that he got from the Mobile City Shelter.
That's right.
And of course, Samantha Lee came to me from the Pritchard Shelter. We found her. She was found under a house with her babies, and now she's my baby. Been with me for about 9 years now. So, but they're with us. And I want to bring them up because you may hear them in a minute. So, but let's get to it. We're going to get to our topic at hand in a minute, which is the fountain of youth. And Josh and I can talk about this ad nauseum. We're watching the time so we don't go crazy. But there are some exciting things going on at Personal Edge Fitness right now, and we have these going on all the time. You're welcome to contact us about them. Again, 251-278-EDGE, 251-278-3343. But we have 3 different catalyst groups going on right now that are seeing incredible success.
Yeah, I would say right now we've got our Team Catalyst group, which day 13, averaging about 7-8 pounds lost.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and I tell you what, I'm glad that he brought that up first, because our men's group is doing wonderful. Men's group is on par with the team group. They're running about 8. Actually, their average, they've been going a little longer. You guys are on day
about 13.
Okay.
13,
We're on they're on day 17.
Okay.
The guys are. And the guys on day 17 are Catalyst Lifestyle Change. It's a weight loss program also. They're on day 17, and they're running around 11, 12 pounds lost, which is great. The ones that are killing it this time, we've never had this before in Catalyst program, but the ones that are killing it are the women. They're actually ahead of the guys this time. They have all-star ladies that are doing it. they're finding the simplicity of the program,
Yeah.
and they're averaging over 11 pounds, but they're only on day 13. So the guys are on day 17 and average 11 pounds. The ladies are on day 13 and average 11 pounds. So that's tremendous. And I'm glad you brought up the teen program, because we're not going to talk about it today.
Yeah.
But it's just not a weight loss program with them, a lifestyle change program. This is would you call it an empowerment?
Yeah, empowerment, mindset. Don't want to get too much into it, like you said. We're gonna get into that later, but yeah, Catalyst. I mean, it's food, the topic of food. It's got somewhat to do with it, but the empowerment, the confidence, is really what we're driving home right now.
Obviously, a teaser. We got a podcast coming up in a couple of weeks that we're going to talk to you about this new program that we're offering. But it is one that it's a game changer. If you've ever had a teen that have had some challenges with weight, but more importantly, has had some challenges with their own self-image. Wouldn't you say that more than anything?
Absolutely.
Had some challenges with their own self-image, confronting bullies, having some problems, really kind of just not fitting in, or just not feeling great about being themselves. Josh is running a program that, well, I don't want to blow all the secrets. I can't wait to tell you about it. Tune in a couple of weeks. We're going to have that podcast, and we've been talking about it for the last hour and a half, almost running too late to do the podcast. All right, but stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about it, again, 251-278-3343. Contact us there. All right, Josh, I've always said the fountain youth is simple, and it's three things. And what are they?
Well, first one, I keep grabbing this one, water.
All right. Second?
Water, protein intake. And then third is going to be something that I know I really stress, and that is exercise, or, we could call it movement.
Period.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the reason why we say this, and we're going to break each one of these down for you really quickly. And I've talked about these on other podcasts. If you listen to the Live Age 5-part series, I go deep into each one of these. But I just want to do a quick hit and really summarize this, because we make this topic far more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But literally, not just you've got people that say that. There was a place downtown that, with no offense to it, I think it ended up closing down, or maybe it moved. I hope it's doing well. But it was a quote unquote healthy food eating place or whatever. It was called Fountain of Youth. I think we use and abuse that term too much, so much so that when somebody hears me say the Fountain of Youth is based on three different things, I literally mean, if you want the Fountain of Youth, you want to stay young, you want to stay fit, you want to stay healthy, you want to get to a certain level of fitness and stay there the rest of your life, is three things.
Yeah, that you can do, you can focus in on, you can take control of those three things.
And it would answer, as far as I'm concerned, it would answer all your questions as far as decline associated with time passing on a calendar.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get into them real quick here. Now, I've talked about these before. You know I'm going to talk about my first one. Might as well get out of the way. You notice that I have a different water bottle today. There's a reason for that. I'm carrying my JagFit water bottle, very proudly given to me by the University of South Alabama when I gave a talk
Jags.
out there. Yeah, go Jags. And I'm also doing it for two other reasons. One, they have a fantastic University of South Alabama graduate, Josh, who was one of our earlier interns, the first intern we hired. And very proud of that program, which he now runs, the internship program. But I'm also I'm proud to carry my JagFit bottle today, because they are the host of the Reese's Senior Bowl, which takes place tomorrow. So that's one reason for me carrying my JagFit bottle today. But the first one, of course, is water. Now, I won't stay on this too long. Josh is going to add something to it. You know why I say that? Water is really your lifeblood. I mean, our body is mostly made up of water. And 46% of adults don't drink enough water. You've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. Recommended by the National Institute of Health, Harvard Medical, Stanford Medical, Pritikin, Cooper Clinic. I can keep going. Mayo Clinic. I can keep going. Every single one of them recommends, at minimum, how many ounces a day?
90 to 100 ounces.
Bingo. Every person. And the reason he's saying 90 is only one of the places recommends 90 ounces for a female. Only one of those places. Everybody else is 100 plus. Why? Organ function, building muscle,
Cravings.
Cravings. Oh my gosh, absolutely cravings.
Cravings.
Blood flow, skin. You got worry about your skin looking old, and you're going to have a cream or something that you're going to use. It's going to say hydration. It's going to say moisturizing on it because we simply dehydrate ourselves constantly as time passes on the calendar. 46% of adults don't drink enough water. More than that, kids don't drink enough water. We're slowly dehydrating ourselves, which is why we're falling down. What do you have to add to that?
Well, I mean, it's something you say all the time is when you start to feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Period.
You know?
Absolutely.
And you know, another thing we like to say is any, you know, and I know you like to add a little something there, but anybody can drink water.
Period. Simple.
Easiest thing to do, and I know the excuse that we hear over and over and over again is, oh, that's just a huge amount of water. Well, the best step we can take is, number one, find out, track how much water you're taking in.
Awesome.
Okay, because you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is add, I like to say, add a bottle. Okay, add a little bit of water every week. What we do it, you know, add a bottle a week, 7 days, make it a habit, add a little bit more until we're at that 100 ounces per day. And we stay there.
Period. And don't you find, what do you find with your clients that are going into that process? After about 60 or 70 ounces, do you notice, if they get up to that level, do you notice them being thirsty even when they've just finished a bottle?
Oh yeah, they go from saying, what is it? Oh, I can't drink water. I don't like the taste of water too. All of a sudden it's like, I'm craving water. I need my water.
Bingo.
Okay. And something I noticed too, the people that tell me, oh, I get enough water. Well, you know, if you're not reaching for that bottle, you know, in between exercises as we're training, you're probably not getting enough water in throughout the day.
As you can tell, I'm not going to stay on this topic all day. We've kind of beat it to death. The first of the fountain of youth, obviously, is water. Let's go to another thing that we do on a regular basis. We teach it. I've been teaching it myself for 33 years. Josh right now is running the Eastern Shore facility, which was opened in 2020. He's actually was training well before that. And you look at the guy. The guy can sling some serious steel. And that's exercise. Yeah. So Josh, this is your territory, man. Why is exercise so important for the fountain of youth? Not just as we age, you hear that.
Oh yeah.
Why is it important for the fountain of youth?
Well, again, it goes back to something that everyone can do, regardless of number on the calendar, regardless of ability level.
Period.
We can find ways to exercise. We can find ways to move. Okay. We spend, if we actually calculated how many hours a day we spent sitting down, not moving, hunched over a computer screen, a phone screen, a screen. And as we do that day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out, sitting there in front of a screen, overeating, and just the habits that we create, and all of a sudden one day we wake up and we realize, oh my goodness, it must be because I'm whatever age that you're thinking of.
Period. Whatever number it is.
So we can all start somewhere, and we can all start moving. You're going to notice that when we start to exercise, we release those endorphins, okay, and we start to feel better about ourselves, okay, along in conjunction with our water intake.
Of course. And also, I want to stress, and I talked about this in the podcast that we did called Good Enough, and that is that Josh is right, mostly moving, but moving everything. The Good Enough podcast was based on the fact that people ask me all the time, well, I walk, is that good? And what they're actually asking me is that good enough? Well, what's that doing for your shoulders? What's that doing for your lower back? What's it doing for lateral movement sideways for your hips? The reason we deteriorate muscle as time passes on the calendar is through inactivity like water, like protein. As we don't use those muscles, they deteriorate because our body is constantly doing a systems check. We're starting to atrophy muscle. Therefore, the muscle's gone. We can't catch ourselves when we go sideways. So we fall at 81 and break a hip, whereas when we fall at 18, we only get a bruise. So adequately moving, that's how simple it is. Okay, we got water and we've got fitness. What goes side by side with that?
Well, when we exercise, getting into the lack of exercise, the muscle atrophies. We get into, once we exercise, we're actually, getting scientific. We're breaking that muscle tissue down, which leads us to our third thing. We've got to build that muscle back up, which is our protein intake.
Right. Let me ask you. You're gonna love this answer. Watch this. This guy, he's a USAW. He's not only got a bachelor's degree in exercise science or kinesiology, excuse me. But he's a USAW level 1 strength coach, and so he does some serious strength. What's your deadlift right now?
Oh my gosh! Right now for repetitions, pulling about 405.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if he chart marks on the wall. When he was over there, when he was in the Mobile location, he was marking chart marks
They're
on the
all
wall.
small
because
chalk
I
marks,
know,
you
but
know.
he was keeping track of his deadlift. So at 405, that's some pretty serious lifting here. So obviously he knows something about building muscle. Now watch this. In this facility, we're in the Eastern Shore location right now. We've got all kinds of machines here, some fantastic free weights and whatever. You got a great setup here. It's tremendous. Are you building in here?
No, I'm tearing it down. You want to
repeat that a little louder? I want to make sure that thing's jumping just enough for everybody to hear.
Tearing that muscle tissue down in here.
Bingo. So your wife is a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Okay. She's doing rehab on people, so she's taking people through exercises, much
Yes.
like what you're doing here.
Yes.
Is she building anything?
No.
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 No. When it comes to strength training, in a fitness facility or what have you, that is not where you are building. At that point, what you're doing is you're basically telling your body, with that muscle, you're tearing it. You're tearing those muscle fibers. It's the reason you feel soreness. It's the reason you feel a burn at repetition number 12, 13. Okay, I should probably stop this. It's starting to burn. That is lactic acid being released from a torn muscle fiber. And it's peppering your muscle with an acid to send a message to your brain that tells you to stop. Now, why are we tearing down muscle tissue? Because we're telling the body, wrong, do it again. Wrong, do it again. The next day or so, 24, 48, 72 hours later, your body builds that muscle back up. Now, here's the key. What does it use to build muscle?
Protein.
Period.
Protein.
And calories, yes. Got to have enough calories to burn, to have the energy. Got to have water in there as far as making sure that everything's circulating, working correctly.
Yeah.
Lack of water will actually keep you from building muscle. But why is protein needed? What's going on there? Why is it protein?
Well, the protein, it's made up of these amino acids, and it's essentially the building blocks. I like to think of, the foundation on the house. All right, if that foundation's not there, we can't tear that muscle tissue down when we exercise and build it back up even stronger. Okay, so that we can come in and we can add a load to our body to again make ourselves stronger. And we can't do that if we're not taking in enough protein.
Period.
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
Okay, and taking in enough, you say something interesting there.
Yes.
I'll make this pretty simple for folks. When it comes to drinking water, we give them a pattern. You gave them a pattern a minute ago.
Absolutely.
Drink a bottle, then add a bottle after 7 to 10 days, add another bottle in 7 to 10 days, build up to 100 ounces, stay there.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Okay, when it comes to, I've got to take in protein.
Yeah.
So, how do I do that? How do I do that and do it the most efficient way?
Well, we want to take in first, we want to figure out again what our goals and how much we need. And I know you've given those numbers before, but 0.8 grams per kilogram.
Well, it also depends on, right in that area, you're right.
It
depends on the person. And actually, if you need help with that, again, call us 251-278-3343. We'll be more than glad to sit down with you and help you figure those out.
But
go ahead.
It's going to vary person to person again. And of course, we can help you find out what those needs are. And then it's going to depend on your protein intake. The next step we want to look at is protein intake throughout the day.
Okay, why is that important now?
Because you're not going to be able to take in all your protein needs in one meal. You're not going to be able to sit down and, oh, Josh, I had this fantastic dinner last night, this wonderful steak, I got my protein in. No, you didn't. What about the rest of the day? You got the rest of the day to be taking in those adequate protein needs.
And what Josh is talking about, he's not talking about, you can't win the challenge of eating a 64-ounce steak. That's not what we're talking about. The body cannot synthesize tremendous amounts of protein. It can only synthesize small amounts. So that's why Josh keeps saying you've got to have protein throughout the day. Okay. Yeah. Too many times, you were telling me this earlier. You had clients that are coming in talking about eating that big meal.
Exactly. That's why I gave that example is they come in and they're like, oh, I'm getting enough. I'm eating, whether it's a large lunch, large dinner. Nobody ever says large breakfast, but whatever that is. And it's like, no. let me look at your lunch, your snacks, your breakfast. We need that throughout the day.
That way your body can synthesize it. And the other part of that is that if you have any excess protein, you think you might be taking a little too much, no problem. The body's got a wonderful defense mechanism on it. It just releases it. It just lets it go. That's also what happens if you find out, let's say you're just making up a number. You find out that your protein intake needs every day is, say it's 45 grams of protein. If you take in 45 grams all in one sitting, your body's not going to be able to synthesize but maybe a third of that or even less. So you've got to slowly get it throughout the day.
Yeah.
We use the adage of every meal, every day protein. Yeah. Every meal, every day. Lindsay, who's one of our directors in the Mobile store, one of her best comments about that is that when I snack, I have protein. I'm just making sure I snack on protein snacks or whatever. You're just making sure you're maintaining that protein. And by the way, not picking on anybody that may choose to be vegetarian for whatever reason, but you've got to have that one amino acid that is missing in vegetable protein and regular come out of the ground grown vegetable protein. It's missing an amino acid that you need for growing muscle. And so nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're taking in some sort of supplementation so you're getting that extra amino acid.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's how simple the fountain of youth is. Water, protein, exercise. As long as you've got those three and you're doing all those correctly or whatever, I'm telling you, time passing on a calendar is not going to cause you to deteriorate. I have no plans to deteriorate, do you?
No. No.
Josh, I'm so looking forward. I'll remind y'all again, the Catalyst programs we're running are phenomenal, but we're going to be doing a special podcast on our Teen Catalyst program and how it is not only a weight loss, but an empowerment program.
Yes.
Josh is going to come back on and talk about this. This is his baby. He's doing a tremendous job with it. So,
That's right.
Listen, one more time, if you want to reach out and get in touch with us, you can contact me, Garrett, at personalizedfitness.com. If you want to get in touch with Josh, it's simply Josh at personalizedfitness.com. That is also our website, and Personalized Fitness is our Facebook page. Call us with any questions at 251-278-3343. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Fountain of Youth. The simplicity of it, just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. You know it. I don't know if you get that right or not. So thank y'all so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.